Hey everybody, Eddie loves Evangelion here. You're never gonna hear me remake my name with the word Evangelion in it. I'm never even gonna falsely say that I hate this series. It is my favorite anime ever, which I make very clear anytime I talk about it, because, I don't know, I talk about a lot of anime, not even my favorites most of the time. It's like, okay, whatever I'm watching at the moment or whatever goofy manga I want to talk about. So when I talk about a series that I'm extremely passionate about, I feel like I should make it clear, because otherwise you guys might think I'm memeing about stuff. But a little late to making this video, but I did promise it and I did want to talk about it. So Evangelion is getting a new anime. It was announced at the recent 30th anniversary of Evangelion Festival after they shut off the 30th anniversary animation, which I did make a video on, just saying. Check it out. Now, biggest instant question amongst everyone. Is this a cash grab? I mean, yeah. But also, is it 100% just a cash grab? Is that all we can diminish it to? I would wager not. Now, 99% of the time, especially in this era of remakes and remasters, re-releases, retries, and unoriginality overall, yeah, it wouldn't be shocking that the 30th millionth one is also for money. Well, who would have guessed it? But when it comes to Eva, and this is partially biased because it is my favorite anime, but when you're looking at how selective the projects are in quantity, at least in terms of the anime that we've gotten so far, we've gotten the original series, End of Eva, let's not forget Death and Rebirth, and the Rebuild movies, as long as a couple small things in between, as well as the circumstances surrounding this upcoming series, and the overall trend being there is a story worth telling from the person at the helm, a message they want to get out to the world. When that has been the trend thus far, when my trust has not been broken yet, I think, why stop now? And it'll most likely be a piece of art that's worth not dismissing immediately for monetary concerns. Keep it in mind, yes. And this could change depending on how good the new anime ends up being. You know, if it comes out and it's like fucking terrible, then maybe we could say some shit. But if it is goated, let's say it's a goated story, then at the very least, we can't say it's a piece of slop that they didn't try on and just turned out for money. Even if it comes out as great. But we're not even that far yet. We're literally just talking about the concept of new Eva in this realm of the world. I forefront the video with all of this because that's been the trend of Eva in the past, as I mentioned, specifically for main anime projects, of we care about this, we are not just doing it to do it. And I know people might not like the rebuilds, but at the end of the day, one must at least acknowledge that from Anno's point of view, those were still extensions of himself that he wanted to show the world. That wasn't just, oh, let's keep making Eva. Otherwise, he could have just easily banked in on a retelling, as the first and half of the second Rebuild movie kind of seemed like they were going to be, but once again, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, keep saying stuff that's not in the script. And I specifically mentioned anime because games and other things, especially merchandise, yeah, obviously anime isn't peak Eva storytelling, but it is fun that those things exist. But when people talk about Eva, or at least the non-hardcore fan base, it's always about the anime. Original, obviously had something to say. End of Eva. Unfinished business with a message. Rebuilds. Unexpected unfinished business of Anno's continuous growth in life. Where this new one comes in is that it's no longer Anno. But who is working on the new Evangelion project? This is where this video is going to get fun. Studios. Cloverworks and Studio Kara. If you're an Eva fan, you already know Kara, but if you don't, they are basically one of the two studios carrying on that classic Gainax legacy. The other being Studio Trigger, as most of you know. It's a bit more complicated than just these two studios came from Gainax, but honestly, I don't want to get into that rabbit hole right now, but for small little blurb, Kara is Anno's studio that he founded after leaving Gainax. And if you don't know who Anno is, somehow, and you got this far into the video, he's the creator of Evangelion. Also the director of the Shin movies like Shin Godzilla, Ultraman, and Kamen Rider, and has a really cool anime and film resume. But yeah, he founded Kara in 2006, and it's the studio behind the rebuilds and some other things. But if you've seen me yap about Kara before, you know that I think Kara has perfected the CG mech look. Look at the rebuilds. Look at Gundam G-Quux. Yes, the amazing Gundam love letter and all of its amazing designs and maneuvers and its animation were done by Kara and Co., which we'll get a bit more into Gundam in a bit because it is very relevant to this conversation, but I just have to glaze Kara because it doesn't get much better than them in this specific genre of anime department unless you don't like the stylization of their designs. There is a particular look to them, which I would credit to I forget the name of the designer. It's neither here nor there, but if you don't like the designs, that's one thing, but you can't deny the quality, in my opinion, specifically of the CG animation. And don't even get me started on Cloverworks, one of those modern studios that you just expect quality from. There's never a question of a Cloverworks series will look good or not. It's more, will the story that they're adapting be one that you end up enjoying, you know, normal series shit. They do work on a ton of series though, so you could nitpick some duds. Promised Neverland Season 2 was not Cloverworks' fault, but Wonder Egg Priority, I don't even know what the fuck happened to that shit. But my point is, they have an extremely consistent baseline of quality. Now, let's talk personnel. Directed by Kazuya Tsurumaki, Toko Yatabe, with a script from Yoko Taro and music composed by Keiichi Okabe. Let that shit sink in. What the fuck? My what the fuck is being it's got some OST playing to it. I don't know if you can hear, but there's an ambulance in the background. First off, Kazuya Tsurumaki is the director of the rebuilds, also former assistant director to the original series of Evangelion, and directed the first half of the End of Eva. Nuff said. Knows the series as much as one possibly can, who's not named Ano, I guess. He also directed G-Quux. Next up, Toko Yatabe. Worked on animation on a ton of your favorite things, such as One Punch Man Season 1, Weathering With You, also the episode director of Darling in the Franxx, which, not my favorite series, but gotta respect it. Could easily insert an Eva ripoff joke here, but as I mentioned, this is a serious video for once, so I'll hold off. Next name is one I'm sure everybody freaked the fuck out about, Yoko Taro on the script. Yes, that Yoko Taro. Nier Games, Yoko Taro. I'm also finding out, looking at his wiki, he worked on Time Crisis 2 as a background designer, so nice. And music composed by Keiichi Okabe. This shit gets even crazier. Tekken is really all I gotta say, but the list is long and pretty crazy. 4 names. Just 4 names in that announcement and a short teaser trailer was enough to make me come to my conclusion about my perception of this new Eva going into it without any real tangible information on the product to even go off of. I will bring up the trailer in a sec, but I just want to talk further on that topic of the community's thoughts on bringing back an old legendary series, and Evangelion's not that old. Brother, it's been about 30 years. It's older than me. I'm calling it old. But not just once, a second time bringing it back. And it all comes down to whether people think that's beating a dead horse, just a cash cow, or is it something heartfelt? And don't worry, I've thought about this extensively because, once again, beating a dead horse saying this, Eva is my favorite anime. I don't want to see it devolve into something that I don't love. I really like the rebuilds, and the rebuilds wrap shit up quite nicely, like undeniably wrapped up even the 30th anniversary short, which surprised me after Ano said he didn't feel a need to see Shinji for a while post Thrice Upon a Time, but that's not a big deal. It's by Ano, very in line with the Eva we know and love, and it's a short, but most importantly still works with said bow on the present that is the Eva anime, as I mentioned. But this is a new team. Ano is not involved in this as far as we know. So my thoughts are, maybe this is Ano's way of finally making his Gundam. Because if you didn't know, there's been rumors, reports, quotes over the years of Ano saying he wants Eva to evolve into a Gundam type series with different people working on it, not being chained to his vision of the series thus far, being something that generations forever can enjoy, and continue it as one of those big pillar series that supports animation, because animation, I mean, is king. Why do you think we haven't gotten a live action Eva yet? But yeah, this could totally be the beginning of that new era of Eva, and a potentially strong beginning at that, one that will lead into something that generations and generations and generations can enjoy with future potential series. It all does come down to how this one goes, but my main question right now is, are we getting new characters or using recognizable ones, or is this going to be a mixture? Because while I don't think it's impossible to use Shinji and Ko in a new setting with new issues, new versions of these relationships, and new takes on their psyches overall, I think where you could make this the next Gundam is if you just change the characters, kind of reinvent the wheel, set a new formula for even future takes on Eva to rip off of instead of just the original all the time, kind of a new standard. And let's be real, we've had the same core cast for the better part of 30 years now. This is where it comes to, if you take that away, is it still Eva? That is the question. I say it can be with an asterisk, because the asterisk is just the challenge. It's hard. It's a tough series to work on. The expectations have to be fucking mind-blowing. But looking who's working on it, as I've been alluding to, if there's any team that I think can pull this off, it is this one. Now, for personal hopes, I'm kind of hoping for an all-new cast. One of these is definitely more risky than the other, and I'm not sure which one it is, because I feel like I could make an argument for either. When I was writing the script, I wanted to talk the OGs is riskier, but now it's like, maybe it's not, because no matter what, someone's not going to be happy. But you're not working on Eva to make people happy anyways. Ano never did. So I don't know. This doesn't matter. It's just speculation. But I don't know. It's always story first. If you have a good story to tell, by all means, I am in. And second, as long as it doesn't affect the original Eva multiverse story that the rebuilds concluded, or change it at all. Just leave that alone. Then I'll be good. Don't need some backtracking on random lore 30 years later. Let's just let this be its own new slate. All this team's thing. Obviously paying homage to the original, but, just creating their own version. That's really just the goal. Or at least what my hope is. But I'm also just a guy in a chair yapping, so my opinion doesn't matter. Also, speaking of the Gundam thing, isn't it a crazy 6 degrees of separation situation here? Anno was inspired by Gundam to make Eva. Eva inspired Nier. Then the creator of Eva made a Gundam series, or worked on it in a larger capacity. Then the creator of Nier is working on an Eva series. What the fuck? And if you don't like Gundam G-Quux, whatever. I thought it was hella awesome. Especially as an OG Gundam fan, I just wish it was longer. Definitely a case of, there's a lot of shit in these 12 episodes, but it's definitely a love letter to Gundam. And if this becomes anything like that for Eva, or even better, which I think it definitely can be, which is also kind of crazy to say because of how much I personally love Gundam G-Quux, ignoring any, faults, as I mentioned, with pacing and other things and explanations and whatnot, but we don't need to get into that. The very fucking amazing 12 episode experience. One of my favorite anime experiences recently, including the movie screening as well. What a time to be alive. One of my favorite just anime experiences as a whole, and the friends that I talked about it with. But that's why I think it's crazy to say what I'm saying right now, because I think that that gets past that. And this is getting more back to that bias thing, because I'm also biased towards Gundam and specifically G-Quux a lot. Not in the script. I'm just yapping. But my head is gonna explode. And this is just me judging off of what we've gotten so far, which I know is practically breadcrumbs. We got names and a trailer. In that trailer, I mean, to be fair, the absolute atmosphere. It's not even about what they gave us, it's about what they didn't. They just teased a vibe, and that was enough. I'm so in. So very much like how G-Quux was a clear love letter to Gundam, even if Anno didn't work on the whole thing, his main portion specifically is, I'm quite prepared for this new Eva series to follow suit in a similar fashion, and maybe give us a whole new wave of fans who enjoy this series that most of us watching this video love. And to end this video on a non-Eva note, kinda, looks like I'm starting Nier. It wasn't planned to be so soon. I know I'll like it, and it's been my installed for a while now. I've been meaning to play Nier in some capacity since high school, but you know how it is being a gamer. It's kind of crazy saying it like this, but you do just forget about games for years. And I don't even forgot about it. It's just been in my mind. But it's always long games. You just got to be in that mood. And honestly, it all comes down to when you randomly start it one day and then you're hooked. But I've always known that I was going to like it. Now, though, it's definitely actually on a prioritized real list. Because I want to get to know Yoko Taro as a creator before I see him tackle on such a monstrous task. Specifically, a task that's so near and dear to my heart with this new anime. And I'm, for one, already super optimistic off of just hearsay of these creators and from the glimpses I've seen of the music and the stories that these people have worked on. But we're just going to wait till the series comes out to see anything, and then I'll yap about it some more. So if you want to see that, subscribe. And I talk about seasonal anime that I watch and manga and novels and movies and shit. I always review it. So, if you like that type of shit from this guy, then maybe subscribe. I don't know. I got a reaction channel as well. I react to trailers and stuff. I don't think I reacted to this trailer, though, which is kind of funny. This would have been perfect plugging time. But, yeah, keep up with me on that shit and socials. But most importantly, I don't know. Stay cool. Watch anime and shit. Be a weeb. Goodbye.